Sometimes you come across a movie that is so overrated, you're just shocked that people actually like it. And that is really the case with this movie called Blade Runner 2049 from 2017. That really must be the most overrated movie in cinema history. Because despite its insanely slow pacing, a lot of people still seem to really love this movie. Literally, during the first 2 hours, there's not one single thing happening other than Ryan Gosling's fight with Bautista and the original mission he is intended to do, which is finding this data character played by Harrison Ford, is not something that is very much focused on because he literally does not come onto the screen before 2 hours into the movie, making a very tired act, suggesting that Harrison Ford should have had retired 20 years ago. Of course, the lack of good acting is an issue, but the real issue here is the entertainment payoff, which just is so weak when you wait 2 hours for any real tension or excitement. To suggest that people will like 2 hours of world building with stunning visuals when there's very little in the plot and you only get a couple of exciting tension scenes by the ending, then you never really feel that it was no use watching those 2 hours as you really fell off the story a long time ago. There's a bit of a debate also here among those that saw the original movie but hated this one, and those that love this but haven't seen the original. But what essentially is clear is that I also feel it is very badly casted. Ryan Gosling may be alright in his role though, but I do think that actors such as the Robin Wright, who played very well in House of Cards, or Sylvia Hawkes and Jared Leto, do not really fit very well in their respective roles. Also, of course, that this movie is one of the slowest movies I've ever seen. Yes, Villeneuve may also have made Dune slow, but this one is the icing on the cake, because actually Dune had better entertainment in the last hour, but here this time around, you just have to tire yourself through 2 hours of world building with stunning visuals, with almost no progression in the story. I am 100% certain I am not the only one thinking this movie is dreadfully slow, and I wish I really could get the time I was watching this movie back, because it really kills your dopamine levels. Why people like this movie is really beyond me, because in some ways I can't understand why people may like Prisoners or Arrival, even though I am not sold on them either. But this movie that apparently makes people think or served up to be so different than other movies, I really don't see the appeal, which surely is there for this movie. But the very reason it didn't hit as well as some of Denis Villeneuve's recent movies is the pacing issue, which surely is a divisive issue, but for a lot of people, they have no problem with this movie being extremely slow. In that case, you must say Dune Part 2 is hyped, but that is a piece of blueberry compared to the ratings for this movie. That has an 8 out of 10 score with something like 600k votes, which almost seems like a bad joke. To this day, that is a large mystery, but Villeneuve recently said he would never meddle into another universe, which I guess he meant into a guy's universe already created. Ridley Scott, in this case, which already was highly successful in making this movie even on a larger level than Denis. But it is a highly surprising move that it is so still well loved by a lot of people. Because really, this movie works better as a torture method rather than belonging to the big screen in a cinema. And it is a perfect example of how you neglect entertainment in longer movies by making them as slow as possible. Generally, I am not sure I feel this movie is that well explained either. I may not remember a lot about Tenet, but that one, although it had bad explanations sometimes, did have more serious amounts of tension that managed to entertain you in between. That's what I really miss in this movie, which rightfully deserves to be called the most overrated movie in cinema history.